Welcome to Fun and Games Side Quests. Every episode is a different host sharing a video game they love and why they love it.
Oh, the airs be cold of flake and white, as a sailor begs their pledge. To the ice they'll pray that leads reveal some charted course ahead. Of homes they'll dream, of warmth long lost, and chased to frost world's edge. A hunger draws the desperate here, it's one that can't be fed. What will ye do when steel hearts break and courage does abscond? I'll lead these souls, so help the gods, out of the pale beyond. Hello, listeners. My name is Erik, and I am one part of the Pages of Play podcast, a book club for gaming narratives. Each episode, we take listener-submitted discussion questions about a recent game that we played, and then we discuss those questions in a roundtable format. The show is focused on our experiences with video game stories, but more than that, how those stories impact our day-to-day lives as people trying to live our best. If all that piques your interest, please come and have a listen. You will find us on all of your favorite podcasting apps. All right, now let's get into the game for today, shall we? If you hadn't surmised the name of the game by that poem I read earlier, allow me to formally introduce it. Today I will be talking about a game called The Pale Beyond, developed by Saltstone Studios, published by Fellow Traveler, and inspired by the book Endurance by Alfred Lansing. In an interview with Thomas Hislop, the creative director at Saltstone Studios, he said that one of his team's core design pillars was that, quote, every decision has a face. If there's one thing I want listeners to remember about this game, it is precisely that. This is a game about making decisions in dire circumstances, a game about the tenacity of the human spirit and the relationships forged in tribulation. It's a game about leadership, loyalty, and the trade-offs made just to survive. The game opens as player character Robin Shaw meets with Captain Rufus Hunt for a job interview. Shaw has come to Hunt because of an advertisement he saw. Crew wanted, danger, darkness, low wages, not safe, glory in success. During the next several minutes of the interview, Shaw learns that another ship, called the Viscount, has gone missing, and Captain Hunt's mission, funded by a mysterious benefactor, is to find that ship and determine its fate. Hunt is an odd man, which is made all the more apparent when he abruptly cuts off the interview to hire Shaw on the spot as his second mate. Shaw's qualifications were not even discussed. "Do you have all your teeth?" Hunt asks. "Good. Welcome aboard." Players will then board the ship, named the Temperance, and meet the rest of the crew. This is done by scanning through beautifully hand-drawn still images of the various parts of the ship and environment, while looking for icons and clicking on each one to interact with people or objects. An icon will be highlighted in yellow if it is the primary objective, and clicking on it, the story will advance. The player will inevitably do that in this opening sequence, and then our crew sets sail. The survival management gameplay loop of The Pale Beyond consists of 5 parts, each taking place within one in-game day. There are sometimes scripted events that take place in between the core mechanics of the game, but these 5 sections will be the primary way players experience the game. First, you will take requests for the day from the crew. One by one, different crew members will ask Shaw to make a decision about small favors that they desire, which range from approving certain pastime activities to approving certain people to stay aboard the ship or be discharged. These decisions can impact crew member loyalty and overall decorum, both of which are important to maintain in the Pale Beyond. Loyalty among different crew members will help Shaw down the line when he has to hold a vote for bigger decisions, and the more folks loyal to Shaw, the more votes will go his way, naturally. Decorum, on the other hand, represents general group satisfaction on the voyage, and if this dips too far below the 100-point maximum, a mutiny could occur, ending the game. "We are only as good as the unhappiest man," suggests one of your crewmates, and you best heed those words as you play this game. After wrapping up the requests, the second phase of the gameplay loop involves strategically assigning each member of the crew to tasks around the ship. Some examples include gathering supplies, working the furnace to raise the heat, researching wildlife, interviewing crew members for a news article, or sending the injured to recover in the infirmary. Later, when the Temperance is incapacitated, new task options are added, like scouting the environment or going on a hunt for game. You only have a limited number of crew at your disposal, so you will have to choose these tasks wisely. Ultimately, what you assign your crew to do during the day becomes the core method of resource collection, which leads us to the next mechanic. Once you have assigned your crew, you will need to do two primary activities just to survive the night: feed the hoosh and feed the furnace. This means using a number of resources you have acquired throughout the day to increase your pool of points for each system: fuel for the furnace and provisions for the hoosh, up to 100 points each. Resources are hard to come by, and each will offer different point values when used in the hoosh or the furnace. Elephant seals, for instance, are large game and provide a good amount of food for your crew, but they also provide blubber, which can be burned in the furnace for additional heat. It is up to you to figure out how to best spend your resources and where to spend them based on your particular circumstances. This requires a keen ability to adapt to every challenge the game throws at you. At the end of the day, you will have to spend your resource points. You can choose from up to 4 different point values to spend, and you will be pulling them from both the fuel and provisions totals to survive. If you don't spend enough provision points, your crew could become malnourished, and if not treated the next day, they could develop gangrene or scurvy, and then if still not treated, they will die. The same goes for fuel. Lack of heat will cause freezing, and freezing will lead to frostbite, and then ultimately death. There is quite a bit of strategy that goes into how best to manage all of this, not spending too much of your point values so as to not have enough for tomorrow, but also not spending too little so as not to jeopardize your crew's health. Lastly, after a full day of activity and assigning points and gathering resources, you get a break. You will have dinner, and you'll have a chance to have additional conversations with the members of the crew. This is where you will learn their backstories, their idiosyncrasies, the things that make them tick. During this downtime, you can also improve, or deteriorate, loyalty with key members of the crew. They all have wildly different personalities, so you'll have to take a more considered and conscientious approach to your conversations if you want to earn their favor. If you take the time to connect with your crew, you are in for a treat, because the character arcs in this game are simply incredible. If all the survival management mechanics make up the strategic body of your adventure across the ocean, the cast of characters form the bleeding heart within this body. There is just so much detail and personality and growth written into each character that spending time talking with them easily became my favorite part of the game. It also makes for some very hard interpersonal decisions later in the game when you have to prioritize one person's needs over another, or choose between your mission and your people. For me, at last, my mission became my people, and that's exactly the type of thing that this game encourages. An interesting mix, don't you think? Someone aboard calls out to Shaw. Never could have expected they'd all pull through after all. We're more than our mistakes, Robin Shaw replies. Let people surprise you. And that, listeners, is The Pale Beyond in a nutshell. An incredible tale of leadership, judgment calls, and the relationships that are both the reason for and the result of survival. Each decision truly has a face. Happy gaming!
Hey, Jay.
Hey, Jim.
You're a fan of the Legion of Superheroes, right?
Yeah, I've been reading their adventures for decades.
Me too. It was tough at first with all the characters, but now I think I'm an expert.
It's not too hard to get into the Legion. And to make it even easier, we have a podcast called Long Live the Legion. We talk about different aspects of all its history to help you out.
So whether you're a new reader in the Legion Academy, or have your own flight ring, or anywhere in between, a Long Live the Legion podcast should be on your playlist.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.